Hello and welcome to the Monday Agenda. The Monday Agenda today is once again looking onto the innovation, but as we looked onto the Innovation Week last week, we're going to look onto how innovation is embraced here in Tanzania. And with me on the program is Dr. Amos Muhunda Nungu, the Director General for Costech, Tanzania Commission for Science and Technology, and delighted to really have the presence and the pleasure to have the UNDP resident representative, Ms. Christine Musisi. Very most welcome to the program. Just to begin, maybe with you, Dr. Nungu, innovation. How is innovation in Tanzania addressing some of the challenges we still have to date? And how is the government geared and prepared towards addressing these challenges using innovation?
When Costech started, we looked at science and technology. So innovation was kind of embedded in the technology aspect. So it was not coming out as innovation until 2008 when we started to draft the new policy. Now moving from the science technology policy to the science technology and the innovation. So all along, the innovation was coming right after the research. So innovation was coming out of the research, then we got to the innovation. Okay. But now we realize that the world is changing. So people can innovate without the research aspect because the research is already there. So youth and everybody can take the things, the knowledge already available to innovate. And by the way, innovation is just, improving ways of doing things.
Improving the way of doing things.
Yes.
That's innovation.
That's innovation.
Okay.
So our common mwananchi, they are doing things in the ways which are responding to the environment. So today, if they were, cultivating, beekeeping and whatever, they're trying to innovate in order to meet the changing environment. So all of these are innovations. That's why I'm saying, now, today we are trying to define it according to the changes, and you see we have the new policy, the revised policy, which is at the cabinet level now, which now is talking about science, technology, and innovation. So innovation now it is explicit instead of kind of hidden into the technology aspect. So yeah, the government is very keen. And if I go back a little bit, that since 2011, Costech started to look into exploiting the innovation aspect. That's why they started the Buni Hub.
Buni Hub.
Yeah, so now we have the Innovation Hub, to the first in the country, and then there was Kinu. But also we came to the DTBI, the incubator.
Okay.
That also came in as, how now to go in hand with the fast moving aspect of the innovation. Okay. So the government is very keen on that.
Why is it that now the government realizes the importance of innovation? Is it high time that we embrace, all of us as a country, to innovation, or it's coincidental?
No, I think it is all over the world.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said, moving from the science technology to science technology and innovation, so the world is moving, so Tanzania cannot be an island. But second, as I said, now the information is available everywhere. Before it was the researchers, they're the one who own the information. That's why the information was to come after the research. Today, the information is everywhere. And because of the internet, even the youth, they have the information.
Yes.
Yeah, some of the information was hidden through the patent and the IPs. They are obsolete, so now they are open. That's why I'm saying, the innovation is the way of life. And as you see, our experience, 2011, we had only one hub, Buni Hub. Then came Kinu Hub. It went, Kinu Hub died. But today you have more than 50 hubs. That show the demand.
Yes.
So it is a way of life. Okay. Yeah, so everybody has to come on in order to contribute to the wealth.
Absolutely, and we're delighted, as I'd mentioned earlier, to have UNDP with us. And of course, you're giving the support directly to the government, but as well, some of the projects and interventions you reach directly to individuals in rural and urban Tanzania. So, what is the main focus of UNDP currently? Before maybe we speak on to innovation, because I know anything you touch, as Dr. Nungu has said, innovation is the way we do things.
UNDP in Tanzania focuses on three main areas. That is good governance and inclusive growth and environment and climate change. Those are the areas that we believe can really accompany Tanzania in its agenda to become a middle-income country and also to drive its industrialization agenda in a way that is people-centered and also sustainable, so that we do not leave anyone or any place behind in that development process. So we see innovation as central to catalyzing activities that will bring results, especially in light of the sustainable development goals. We do not have much time left towards 2030. Correct. We have only 10 years left. We need to find innovative ways to accelerate progress and development. And so UNDP has therefore put innovation at the center of its core business. That is why we have about 60 innovation labs that are serving about 78 countries around the world. And I'm pleased to say that in Tanzania, we recently launched with the Costech leadership an innovation lab for Tanzania in UNDP. So? Yes, okay. And we are looking at this innovation lab capturing innovative solutions that are already here in Tanzania, as well as those, of course, that are internationally available. Very important. And looking at how we can incubate those interventions to the point of reaching, the client. And most of our innovative experiences actually have started more from the side of the client, the customer, the users, which are mainly the communities that are facing development challenges, and looking at then identifying what are the solutions out there that can help answer these critical challenges that communities are facing. And I can give you some examples later on, on how we have been able to address those challenges, support communities in addressing those challenges.
It's really very important because, my next question to you is going to be, for over 55 plus years since we gained our independence, we have actually been struggling with diseases, illiteracy and poverty in Tanzania. And, these are termed enemies of the state. And we still struggle. These are still present today. So I would really wish to understand from you, and especially from the launch, what it is that you've launched and some of the examples so that, we come to see these challenges to an end soon.
I mean, one of the examples is the off-grid box, off-grid box technology, which is a solar-based technology that provides clean water to communities, as well as electricity or energy, which people can easily plug in and take to their house and have a supply of electricity, which changes the entire life, because it addresses the issue of diseases, because people have access to clean water. It enables people to remain productive even after dark, students to do their studies, even in that environment, and to provide a safe cooking cooking and lighting facilities, basically, which really answers a lot of issues there. But we have also invested in new technologies for agriculture.
Okay.
For example, in Bunda and Busega. Actually, this off-grid box has been available there, but also we have invested in new approaches to irrigation.
Okay.
And a combination of irrigation, provision of hybrid seeds, which ensure higher productivity, as well as resistance to pests and diseases, and methods of farming that have led to have very high levels of production for communities there. For example, in 1 acre, having a production of tomatoes that bring about 10 million Tanzanian shillings within an acre, within one harvest, and they are able to harvest 7 times, a year. Okay. And imagine only 3 million Tanzanian shillings was invested in such an initiative. So we see that as an innovation that accelerates results, improves livelihoods, changes people's mindsets about what is possible. And at the same time, through these horticultural projects, we have supported a link to markets. So there is no problem with markets, both in Tanzania, but also in the Gulf states. Looking at innovation in an integrated manner. But we also recognize that other partners have focused more on the ideation and supporting startups. Dr. Nungu has mentioned the hubs. Correct. That are really incubating, innovative ideas. And the question is, how do we link those two?
Absolutely.
And it brings out the importance of creating a good collaborative innovation ecosystem, which we have been discussing with the Costech and also with HDIF, the Human Development Innovation Fund, with DFID and other partners to see how we can build a strong ecosystem that ensures that there are no gaps in between.
Absolutely. And that was going to be my next question, actually, to Dr. Nungu. I mean, when you talk of development, it's not single tides, two tides, public sector and the private sector. And I really wish to pick from you, Dr. Nungu, from the public sector. How has the private sector been supportive of the innovation growth in Tanzania?
In 2011, we had only 2 hubs. One was Costech, which is public, another one was Kino, a private. Because the key issue is, Costech is a government. First of all, we have to put you in supportive environment to enable the private sector to do well. Correct. To come in and to provide the services. Because the bottom line is, we are providing services to the community. So private sector, they might come in order to do business, but at the same time, they are providing services and then to the people. Correct. Yeah, so it is in our interest to see that happening. So in 2011, 2012, there was only 2 hubs. Today, I said there are more than 50 hubs. But for example, last year, we managed to fund 15 hubs in collaboration with the HDIF. And among those, I think half was private sector. Because for us, it is, we want the services, we want the innovation to happen, to be supportive all over the country. So we don't mind if it is the hub hosted at the government premises or private sector premises, as long as we provide services. Correct. Yeah, so we managed to fund the private sector hubs as well. Okay. That's one side. But also, let me mention that, in 2018, the minister responsible for science and technology inaugurated a guideline on how to support grassroots innovators. Okay. And the guideline was now, 2019, we started to have the first, we can say, competition. Okay. We call it Makisato in Swahili. Mashindano ya kitaifa ya sayansi, teknolojia na ubunifu. Okay. Makisato. But if you see that, it is open to everybody in the country. Okay. And we put them in 7 categories. We have the higher education, the research and development institutions, but we have the middle educators here, the NACTE, the institutions which are under NACTE. We have the lower cadre here under VETA. But when you say VETA, then we have also the private institutions which are registered under VETA. Putting them together. We have the secondary and primary school. The main thing of the guideline was to categorize the science, technology, and innovation. But the most important is to handpick those who are kind of they show something, the innovative culture. Okay. Yeah, so we needed to nurture that one. So as Madam said here, you have the levels. For the government is on the basic level, providing the seed fund. Yeah, so we haven't yet went to the assisting startups. Okay. We are doing not much, but the seed fund. So in that respect, you see that last year, when we went to the final, we have 60 proposals or project innovations. And the idea of Makisatu was, out of the 60, let us find 3 in each category. Then you give them certificate, and that you have done well. Okay. But then the deputy minister, who was the case of one by that time, he said, no, this is the first competition, so we need to make sure that everybody is capacitated. So we trained them, all of the 61. We gave them training because they have shown that they wanted to innovate. They have some innovation. So we trained them on how to, the steps of innovation, but also on the IP issues, because some of people, they are afraid of, if I did
coming out.
Coming out, my idea would be taken away or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we gave them that kind of training, but also the government set aside, I think it was the 700 million. Okay. So it was kind of, for those who can be, pushed into the market. Yeah, so out of the 60 ideas, I think there were a few they were practical. They were in a stage where, I take you one example. We took this guy who 3 years ago came up with an invention of a helicopter. Last year he came with a machine, a farming machine. But what Costech did in terms of capacitating them, we said this guy, he is nowadays taking in students from other universities to do practical training there. Okay. So we said we needed to equip the place, because the regional office, they have given him space to have a very big garage. Okay. So we said, Costech, we can equip the garage. Okay. So when the students, they go there, they can find all the equipment they want to work on the innovations. Yeah, so the idea it was, we give it as a public so that, make it open. So anybody who came in, they can use it. That's one example. Yeah, that's one example. But this, Makisatu, we want to make it yearly. Okay. Yeah, yearly. And the thing is, last year, when we started, for example, for the student at primary school or secondary school, they might not have a product. But we are creating that idea that I can innovate. Yeah, I can do it. So for them, it is, taking the theory, putting them into practice. So it might not be a new thing, but that knowing that, I can innovate, and the minister can come and shake my hand. Yeah, so I came out. Then we think it sent a message to the other student that, yeah.
Dr. Nungu, maybe to us, you launched a very, very beautiful program, the National Competition for Science, Technology and Innovation, yes. Makisatu in Kiswahili, as you rightly said. But I really wish to understand, the government of Tanzania has been very keen in bringing out very beautiful, innovative ideas like such, but they've not been very sustainable. Not to say what the government set aside in terms of the budgets and the numbers, this being an election year, it's a tough year. But again, there are resources which are set aside in districts. I think they're about 7 million or 70 million, but a good amount of money to actually support innovation. But this money, again, why is it not put in a single basket to support, Because when we work in, Madam Kristen, maybe you can also say this, when we work in silos, we are not achieving anything. You know, we grew up believing united we stand. But now you see UNDP has launched something, you're doing something, HTAF is, you know, if we work together, putting all eggs in the same basket, then won't it sound, you know, for instance, we have so many districts in Tanzania. So if each district contributes 10 million, that's a good amount of money to actually be able to innovatively address the challenges that the country has. So what do you have to say about that, Dr. Nungu?
No, that is where we are going now, because even the guideline, it's a national guideline. A national guideline which was put down by the minister responsible for science, technology, and innovation on behalf of the government. And now, last year we started as the Minister of Education with its institution down there, Costech, DIT, VETA. This year, we've now expanded it. So we have the Prime Minister's office, which they're working with the youth. We have the TAMISEMI, as you correctly said. They have funds for the youth and the women. So they're on board. Because our idea is, for example, when we go around, trying to identify these innovators, and then we take them through until we have the few who go to the top.
Yeah.
But the remaining ones, they have been trained. They have went through some sort of training and recognition.
Yes.
So we wanted the TAMISEMI to see that we have already a database of innovators around us, because these people, they're coming from the community. Yeah, so we're working together. But mind you, this year we opened it up. We said, yes, for us, we are focusing, say, with the, as I said, we have the formal, people on the formal, but we have the people on the informal sector.
Correct.
Yeah, through VETA, we are also bringing them up. But let me tell you something. For example, this year, those last year who we said, we are now capacitating them, we are supporting them, we tried to have what we call it technology stations.
Okay.
I mentioned one, which is in Tunduma, which I said, the guy with a garage, we put there more equipment. Yes, correct. But that is one single example I said. We have more than 10 such stations. Some of them under VETA, some of them under private sector, under CEDO. Because the idea was kind of, these innovators, someone is in Tabora, is an innovator. And he said he wants a machine to finish his innovations. So you see, if you give him or her a support, then it might be, he will use it and it is my own. But if we find a place, a location, and then we say, we wanted to capacitate that location so that, this one innovator can go there, finish his or her product, then the technology station will remain there, somebody else can come in. So that's what we are doing the same. It is the same as I said for the innovation hub. Okay. Yeah, so this one we are doing it, but also this year we opened it up. So it is not only, the government was only coming up with the guideline and the initial Makisato. But we said, if everybody is saving the same community, the same wananchi, for example, when the UNDP opened the accelerator, Costech was part of it. Okay. Yeah, so now we're saying now we have a bigger picture here, and it is part of the innovation ecosystem. So everybody should come on the table. For example, this year, Makisato, we have the RIKE, we have CRDB, they're on board. We have Council FM, they're on board. We have HDF on board, UNDP. So we are opening up. Good. The challenge is the budget of each and every one. They have their own strategic plan. Okay. The government has one. We are going forward. We said, middle income industrialization. But we said, we find it UNDP, they have their maybe 5-year development plan. So this year, their focus might be on something else. But we said, for us, we are open. So if you can join it today or tomorrow, it is open. As long as we are saving the youth, we are saving the community, then anytime you come in. So private sector is involved, is welcome, and the door is open. Okay. Yeah, we're working together.
I think also building on that with our partner, we've been discussing with Costech, with HDIF, and some other partners, how we can bring, the whole ecosystem together through a collaborative partnership. It doesn't require a program. it requires a collaboration.
Correct.
Where we have partners that are working, supporting innovators on ideation, experimentation. There are partners who can support in bringing the products to market,
Right.
where you incentivize private sector to take on these ideas and actually produce at scale. And then there's the consumer side, where you also need to build the capacity of the consumers, the communities to take up the new technologies, because the take-up is not uniform. But I must say, women and youth are very good uptakers.
Well, and I was
And
going
they're
to
a
come to
good
that. I
target.
was going to certainly come to that.
So
yes.
that actually requires, different approaches to funding. What the government is doing and some of the development partners is very important in creating a fund that enables startups, and communities to get started with their innovations or to get started with taking up new innovations. But these are not sustainable, and they're not enough.
Correct.
It is very limited funding. That's why it's important that we are discussing a facility that would add the financing element,
Correct.
where you help the business, the community, the local government to structure its financing so that it's if necessary, it's blended, or if necessary, it can go straight to a bank and so on. So we need a facility where you have different financiers, like CRDB you've mentioned, NMB, the Tanzania Agricultural Development Bank, so that they structure in their own systems facilities that support this. So when we prepare an innovator, when we prepare a community, they already have an investor-ready project that then we can link to the different financiers. They have the money, and they are looking for ways to invest, but the projects are not ready for investment. Then the other category is, of course, for equity investment, where we're looking for patient investors in the private sector to really come on board.
It's a call.
So it's yes. So that we need to be able to pull all of that together into a collaborative partnership that enables us then to accelerate,
You are watching the Monday Agenda, and the Monday Agenda today is looking onto innovation. Luckily, recently I've been very keen on innovation because it's the global agenda. And with me on the program is Dr. Nungu from Costech and Madame Christine from UNDP. I'm very delighted. You mentioned the youth and the women. This is a very important category. I'll give an example, because when I look onto an agency like UNDP and the role that you play, and I'm glad that we have the government with us on the program. A country like Mauritius, they launched a policy that supports innovation in the country. Whereas if someone is employed and they come up with an innovative idea, they're given a 1 year off. So a leave for a year, and they're supported. In case anything goes right or wrong, they can go back to their employment. Why do you think Tanzania can't come up with policies like such to support, and this can only come, when organizations like UNDP give us examples like such to embrace the growth of innovation in Tanzania? I really wish to learn from UNDP as an agency where Tanzania can actually take examples and embrace them on the ground.
I think we need to reverse your question, because why can't Tanzania take up such? Tanzania obviously can take up. I think you can.
But it's not happening. No, yes, it's not happening.
It will happen through the collaborative partnership, because Dr. Nungu has mentioned that now we are looking at the conducive environment. And our role as UNDP and the UN system, we source good practices from elsewhere. We codify those good practices and bring them here, or also enable government and other partners to go and see what works elsewhere,
Correct.
so that we can bring the good ideas, filter them for context, because we have to make sure that we don't just bring everything that is
Correct.
everywhere.
Yeah.
We contextualize in participation with the country, and then look at ways to implement. So we look forward to exploring those great ideas with the government.
Dr. Nungu, have I pinpointed or pointed fingers rather on the government to come up with such ideas? Like, you know, I've taken Mauritius as an example, but Kenya has something similar. But I've not had something similar to in Tanzania. So we can't really just say we look for capital, for instance. There are very many other challenges towards supporting the innovation ecosystem in the country. Scaling up the ideas, you know, Innovation Hub, you said there are about 50 in the country, many more are coming. But, you know, with a country of a population of over 55 million, I'm not sure if they can survive with the national competition on science, technology, and innovation. Many more are coming. Resources that are set aside at the district level will not suffice innovation. But again, we still need to focus, as Madam Christine has mentioned. And what is the direction now? Focusing on looking onto the mere fact that Tanzania is geared towards middle income states under the fifth government regime, towards, you know, becoming a middle income state through industrialization. How, Dr. Nungu, would you say innovation is playing the role towards supporting this vision?
This year, Innovation Week theme is Innovate for Impact.
Yes.
And that's where they came in the segmentation. Because Innovate for Impact, it means now, from the ideation, people have came now to the product and they're going forward. So the government, as we are saying now, as we said, we are providing a seed fund. We provide seed fund kind of to the initial ideas. Some of them, they might not have an impact later, but today you can't say. So that's where the government has to fund and then not the private sector. Because, I mean, I'm funding not for pleasure, but I mean, for example, to give morale to the people that, I mean, they should feel that, I mean, yes, I have an idea and it seems to be doable. So there is a seed fund to get me going. But later, when it comes now to the startup, now that's where we can now say, I mean, the private sector, do you see viable product here? Do you see a business here? Even today, we are trying to tell our innovator that, I mean, start have an entrepreneurial mind in your, when you are innovating, that don't innovate something which is for kind of, yeah, it feels good product. That's something which is consumable. There is a consumer out there who wants to pay for it. So going forward, we, as Madam said here, we are discussing, we have started to discuss.
Good.
That, I mean, yes, the innovation hubs, this Makisato, they are generating, it's a generating machine, they're generating many innovators. They're coming out. Of course, some of them, they don't have the impact, so they're being dropped out, but they have the knowledge already, they have gained the capacity, the training, but the others, they are coming out with a strong product solution. So what to do about these people? And then the government, as I said, we have capital for seed fund, but now how to take these guys to the market. That's why now we have a discussion with the UNDP and the like, that now we need to, yeah, as Richard said, we need to collaborate.
Yeah.
Because in the innovation ecosystem, yeah, there are stages. So the next stage, you need more than the government. After putting down the conducive environment, then the private sector and the government partner, they should come in and take hand in hand, then move forward. So that's what we are doing. And this year, Makisato, which will happen in from 16th to 20th of March, we have invited the private sector so that, I mean, they can look into the product which are showcased. Some of them, they might attract attention straight away. Yeah, so we expect that, I mean, it's a starting point. We're inviting the private sector, UNDP is on board, and the others. And during the Innovation Week on the 9th. Also, we have another discussion with the development partners group on ICT and on the STI. So we are thinking the same. That I mean, yes, we have the ecosystem is moving, is improving. That's what I'm saying. I mean, comparing 2011 and now, we have moved. We are not yet there, but we have moved. So if I mean, seeing this pace, then we need to say what will happen tomorrow. Yeah, because if it is a cycle, the ecosystem, there are stages. Yeah, we are doing well in the initial stage, generating these young innovators. But the uptake, what will happen if they come to the next stage? They have startups, they have products, then who can assist them to the market? Yeah, who can also, yeah, we're training them to say, I mean, this is a good idea, this is not a good idea, this is doable, this is sellable. I'll give you an example. I was told there was one innovator who innovated a wheelchair.
Okay.
But the wheelchair is using electricity.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is a challenge already because I mean it is a good innovation, but the context, the Tanzania context, the electricity is in the cities. So if you are having a wheelchair and you want it to be used by every Tanzanians, then you have a challenge. Yeah. So
although for me, I wouldn't look at it as a challenge. I would look at it as an opportunity, value addition. There's solar. Tanzania is so rich in that. But I think I'll have the opportunity to ask you one last question, Dr. Nungu, on innovation at younger ages in school, the curriculum. But let me also pick your brains on.
I wanted to add to that there's the bottom-up support to innovators, but there's also a need to work with especially the local government authorities. For example, we have supported together with the ESRF to produce investment guides for the regions, which have identified important investment opportunities in each region for the country. And it's very important that, now we are moving towards implementation. We are supporting them to find ways of developing projects, for example, for textiles industries, for leather industries, for fishing industries. And that requires a whole value chain. And the question is, how do we see that whole value chain and innovations that are required across that value chain? And how do we incentivize young innovators and as well as private sector to come in and find and provide innovative approaches to ensuring that this succeeds? Because if we are looking at industrialization, we cannot ignore the agricultural base for industrialization. And that is why we're also encouraging young people to come back to base, to the communities,
to the roots.
Making farming a cool trade,
Absolutely,
for them to be able to, to find innovative solutions that can help them to support that industrialization agenda of the country.
You've answered my question, but maybe towards the very end of the program, Dr. Nungu, when I was in school back in our days, we used to have subjects that sort of, I would say, prepared us to be innovative. It's sad to say that those subjects are not in our curriculum today. Can innovation really not find its roots as early as younger ages so that we have these subjects back in school? My daughter is in primary 5. She can't even, put a button back on a dress. We used to have those subjects. We used to have cookery. We used to have all sorts of good subjects that really prepared us mentally and physically to addressing some of these little challenges that, maybe as a public figure, Dr. Nungu, what do you have to say to the Monday Agenda audience about that?
The curriculum will have another institution which is looking them into the curriculum.
Yes.
But if also I bring you back to Makisato, last year there were 4 projects which were looking into teaching aid. Basically, they are looking at teaching aid to assist the primary schools and the secondary schools to be able to teach practical science subjects. Yeah, because unfortunately we are going into the 4th industrial revolution. So teaching someone to stitch the button, you said, even I love my child to see doing that one because I can do it the way I was taught. Yeah, but at the same time, today they're saying you ask Google, go to YouTube, you will find it. Yeah, so our curriculum specialists, they're doing their best to match with the changing environment.
Yes.
But I get your point, and I think...
And I hope it's going to cascade down all the way to that level.
Indeed.
UNDP
Yes.
is supporting the Innovation Week 2020 this year. And should I understand that this is the first time you're supporting?
Yes.
Why are you supporting Innovation Week Tanzania 2020?
Because innovation has become a central, a core element of our development work. And we see it as an opportunity to advocate for innovation. One is to link with other innovators and partners who support innovation, and to share some of the innovation strategies that we think would work in Tanzania. And hopefully out of the Innovation Week, we will be clear on what is it really that brings impact on the ground through innovation, because we don't innovate for innovation's sake. We are looking for those innovations that change lives, that transform people's lives on the ground.
What should we expect, Dr. Nungu, during the Innovation Week 2020? Anything special this year?
Yeah, there are a lot of special things.
Yes, because you both, on different instances, you spoke of dialogue, and
Yes.
probably I really would wish to know when this dialogue would take place, whereby you bring everybody on board to just, speak and come up with one voice. Yes, Dr. Nungu, you're saying?
Yes, I was saying, one thing which I'm proud of among all the things, because I'm a co-organizer, so I'm proud of the whole program.
Mm-hmm.
But now we are trying to merge or to link the Innovation Week and the Makisato.
Okay.
So that is the most important thing I'm proud of, because one is the leveraging, but second is continuity. So I'm trying to see the Innovation Week, when it started, we're trying to see giving a platform to showcase, but this platform was only for those in the urban areas. Mm-hmm. This is the sixth one. It is only last year when we started to go outside Dar es Salaam.
Correct.
Yeah, and this year we have expanded it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we have more centers in addition to Dar es Salaam. But importantly, the next week, after the Innovation Week, we have the Makisato. Yeah, so we are trying also to borrow the experience from Innovation Week to the Makisato. Because Makisato goes all the way down to the ground. Mm-hmm. Yeah, to the grassroots innovators. Because the Innovation Week, I'm part of it, as I said, but also it is showcasing ideas, products, processes, but to those who are the privileged ones, I would say. Correct. Yeah, but the Makisato one, it goes to even the grassroots innovators, those who are not in the formal system.
Who do not even know what Google is.
Yes, but we go to them and try to bring them on board, saying, yes, for example, you have been innovating, yes, a good example. Last year I was privileged to go to the Ikuru because there were two people from Njombe who are providing electricity to the community. These people, I think one of them is 77, the other one doesn't know how to read and write, but they're providing services. So they tried to innovate in order to improvise the solution to their community.
Right.
So these guys, they are brought up to Makisato. Mm-hmm. So now we are trying to combine the two worlds. Yeah, the Innovation Week and Makisato, trying to say, what will happen next year. Okay. That's why I said UNDP is on the Innovation Week already, but also they have been invited to the Makisato, saying, we are all working in the same environment.
Correct.
We are all working, toward the same goal. So how can we serve the same people better? Okay. Yeah, have a sustainable program, framework, solution, whatever it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sustainability remains very key. Madam Kristen, would you like to give up a wrap?
Yes, I just wanted to mention that although we are UNDP, we are not coming alone. We have a family.
Correct.
And we have UNICEF, World Food Program, and UN Women who are also sponsoring the Innovation Week. And we will we look forward to a joint UN session. It will be a powerful session, you'll see.
And that is the Monday agenda, looking onto innovation. My take on the program today is let's just all come together to address innovation as a country, different players, because when we come together, we're a strong unity. And I really would like to thank you once again for coming onto the Monday agenda, and good luck to the Innovation Week. Until next time, I'm your host, Makani, and thank you for watching the Monday Agenda.